This fabled object has captivated the imaginations of innumerable people throughout history because of its power and mystique. The Holy Grail is a renowned artifact that is said to have the amazing capacity to bestow eternal life and unfathomable wisdom. It stands as a treasured artifact that has inspired tales of valor and divine purpose. But this quest extends far beyond the realm of myth and legend. In this video, we'll discuss about the modern-day quest for the Holy Grail, where passionate researchers and historians continue to seek tangible evidence of its existence. Who were the fabled knights charged with this mission? What difficulties did they experience in their quest for the Sacred Cup? Join us on an incredible adventure as we investigate the Holy Grail's origins and symbolism. Before we begin, please remember to hit the like button and share this video with others. Let the adventure begin. From medieval poets and crusading knights to modern-day scholars, filmmakers, and even Nazi leaders, the quest for this elusive artifact has fueled both curiosity and intrigue. Yet, despite its prominence in legends and tales, we face a perplexing dilemma. We have no clear idea of what the Holy Grail actually looks like, or if it exists at all. According to the most prevalent version of the story, the Holy Grail is believed to be the cup used by Jesus during the Last Supper, imbued with profound significance as a vessel for his blood. Over time, it is said to have journeyed across the Holy Land and made its way to Europe, eventually finding its place in Britain. However, the exact details of its whereabouts became shrouded in mystery and speculation. The Grail's journey intertwines with tales of mysterious guardians, such as the Fisher King and the enigmatic Knights Templar, who are said to have safeguarded this sacred relic. Yet, at some point in history, the Holy Grail vanished from our collective knowledge. The sacred cutlery got entwined with other legends, imbued with magical powers, and appropriated by conspiracy believers and demagogues. Pat Kinsella isolates a few facts from the fiction surrounding this enigmatic artifact. Throughout the Catholic world, various holy relics associated with Jesus' life on earth are highly revered. These relics range from the intriguing holy prepus, Jesus' foreskin, to nails believed to have been used during his crucifixion. However, the most coveted of all these relics is the enigmatic Holy Grail. What makes the Holy Grail so captivating is its enigmatic nature, as its true form, location, and existence remain mysterious. Many believe it to be a cup used during the Last Supper and later associated with Joseph of Arimathea, who used it to collect the blood flowing from Jesus' side when he was pierced during the crucifixion. However, depictions and interpretations of the Holy Grail vary widely. One notable comedic adaptation is Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which closely follows the original story. Another well-known film based on the Grail legend is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. In contrast, The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown presents a controversial retelling, suggesting that the Knights Templar may have stolen the Grail during the Crusades and proposing the idea that it symbolizes the unborn Jesus in Mary Magdalene's womb. The Holy Chalice from the Last Supper is mentioned in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, which historians believe were written between 80 and 100 AD. But it wasn't until 1,000 years later that the story of the Grail became popular, when medieval romantics began to write poems about it, intertwining it with Arthurian sagas. French poet Chateaubriand de Troyes initially mentioned the Grail in Percival, Le Conte de Graal, which translates as Percival, the Story of the Grail, an unfinished epic written between 1181 and 1190. Chrétien mentions a source book, but the original work is unknown. Percival, one of King Arthur's knights, visits the realm of the Fisher King in his fascinating tale. There he sees a Grail, an elegant basin from which the king consumes a communion wafer. Despite the Grail is more of a prop than a prominent character in this poem, it encourages other writers to expand on the idea. In his book Joseph d'Arithmia, written around 1191 and 1202, following Frenchman Robert de Baron combined the Holy Chalice used at the Last Supper and the Holy Grail, a vessel containing Jesus' blood. The Grail is guarded by Joseph of Arimathea, the first in a long line of guards that will involve Percival. Wolfram von Eschenbach, a German poet, extended the story in Parzival, an ancient poem in which the hero goes on a mission to reclaim the Grail in the early 13th century. The idea was carried in the Welsh romance Peredur, but the story really took shape in the Vulgate Cycle, a set of Arthurian legends published anonymously in the 13th century. Sir Thomas Malory translated these stories into English in Les Morts d'Arthur, 2 centuries later. And the sagas, particularly the quest for the Grail, have been enjoying waves of popularity ever since. Retold by a colorful cast of raconteurs ranging from Wagner and Tennyson to Monty Python, Spielberg, and Dan Brown. But amid all the illusion, is there any truth? Despite the fact that the most popular versions of the story conclude with the chalice being transferred to England, dedicated Grail hunters have pursued the holy artifact all across the world. Every apparent clue from ancient literature has been painstakingly explored, while long-shot leads and far-fetched speculations have taken their followers to some unexpected places. Margarita Torres, a medieval history lecturer, and Jose Miguel Ortega del Rio, an art historian, assert that the Holy Grail is kept in the Basilica of San Isidoro in the northern Spanish city of León, in their recently released book, Les Reals de Grail, The Kings of the Grail. The Holy Chalice was said to have been transported from Jerusalem to Cairo and then provided to an emir who ruled an Islamic kingdom on Spain's Mediterranean coast in exchange for the aid he provided to Egypt, which was suffering from a famine, according to medieval Egyptian parchments discovered by researchers who were looking into Islamic ruins in the Basilica of San Isidoro. The chalice was then given by the emir to Christian King Ferdinand as a peace offering. Since the 1950s, the goblet has been on display in the Basilica's subterranean museum, where it has been housed since the 11th century. However, this is not the first time that the Holy Grail has been found. Over 200 churches and locales around the world have claimed to have either or both the Holy Chalice and the Holy Grail, with some extending the threshold of legitimacy considerably further than others. A semi-plausible relic or a decent miracle story can spark a tourism boom for otherwise off-the-beaten-path locales. As the public's fascination with the Grail legend shows no signs of abating, it's become an enormous business all around the world. Some think the cup is buried in Jerusalem's sewers, while others believe the goblet was stolen from Jerusalem during the Crusades and hidden in New World sites ranging from Minnesota to Maryland to Nova Scotia. Some believe it is even concealed within Fort Knox. In the past century, there have been multiple occasions when newspaper headlines boldly claimed that the quest for the Holy Grail had finally come to an end. One such announcement suggested that it had been found near Glastonbury Abbey in England during the early 1900s. Another candidate for the Holy Grail was a tarnished silver goblet adorned with intricate decorations, discovered in the ancient town of Antioch a few years later. This particular artifact, known as the Antioch Chalice, made its way to various renowned galleries, including the Louvre in Paris, and even made an appearance at the 1933-1934 World's Fair in Chicago before being dated to the early 6th century. Similarly, the possession of a chalice with Greek inscriptions by the Toledo Museum of Art in 1927 led to claims being made about its potential connection to the Holy Grail. However, many historians remain skeptical about these claims, as there is no concrete evidence to prove the actual existence of the Holy Grail. In the Bible, the mention of the cup is brief, and its religious significance only emerged through medieval stories that intertwined ancient Celtic traditions with the Christian narrative of the Holy Chalice used during the Last Supper. Carlos de Ayala, a medieval historian at the University in Madrid, commented, "The Grail legend is a poetic invention of the 12th century with no historical basis." According to him, searching for something that does not truly exist is an exercise in futility. While our search may not have yielded concrete evidence of the Holy Grail's existence, we have unearthed a wealth of understanding about its origins, its significance in religious and cultural contexts, and the lasting impact it has had on our collective consciousness. The Holy Grail represents the eternal quest for meaning, the longing to connect with the divine and pursue higher ideals. Tell us in the comments section what you think about it. Don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking discussions.